clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the bass line is about to begin. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells your friend, Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
Hey, good morning, everybody. What's up? Good morning. We are live from Oldsmar. Reading all the good mornings. It's awesome to see. We are one big happy family here. It seems like big happy family. Unfortunately, we got folks that are in the ground zero from Ian, and they're still checking in, which is good. So good morning, Mike. Soul's one of those, right? Cape Coral. What's up, Shelly? Richard Reamer, I saw Yohel. What's up there, buddy? We got folks checking in from Belize. Holy cow. We'll have to definitely talk about Invest 91 for our friends down in Central America. It's very possible we could have a name system heading your way. But hey, it's a BOGO Dog Day. It's time for a 2500 diesel, Mike E says. I know. Well, I got hope that Chevrolet messaged me again today. Fingers crossed. They're working with hopefully Dimmitt on getting my truck running again. So I don't want to give up on Chevy. I love Chevy, and I hope they come through because it's a good marketing tool. You know, I mean, believe it or not, I've done about a dozen or so Great American Teach-Ins, right? And the kids are becoming fans. I met some yesterday. I'll tell you some stories. But the trucks kind of become famous, man. We got to keep the truck running. We have to, man. Chevrolet, if you're listening, we got to keep the Storm Chaser alive because it's a sign of.
I didn't understand that.
my phone's talking to me. It's a piece of history. So this is a little Hunter, by the way. Good morning, everybody. So I'm Mike's Weather Page. This is our Daily Brew. We call it Daily Brew because we talk about what's brewing. What's up, Loretta Reed? Yep. So Hunter jumped up first, and then this little guy come running over jealous. So it's a BOGO Dog Day for you. We're gonna talk about Invest 91. Stacy, hang loose there for a minute. We'll be there. Ashton, I hope good news comes. For sure. So I was down yesterday at Fort Myers. I met my Furman family, Jason Sutton and crew. They were down there helping people with generators. There was a huge group of people down there needing generator help, so they were at a Lowe's. And ironically, right across the street was an ABC Fine Wine and Spirits right there in Fort Myers, literally like a stone throw away. So that's where we hung out. I met a bunch of amazing fans. So that was cool. I mean, we got to meet some EOC folks. We got to meet some local Lee County sheriffs. That was very important to me. I'm going to check out something here. Shelly says our Twitter is not working. So if we're not live on Twitter, I apologize. Let's take a look here. I don't know how to get over to my page here. Well, it's trying to. Oh, there's just a link there, it looks like. Just a link. Oh, well. How about that? First time that... Oh, there it is. It's coming. We got 4 people watching. It's over there. I think, Shelly, you got to hit a link or something. I don't know. Weird. But anyway, so yeah, I got to meet some great fans. Everybody shared stories. Some of them were pretty somber stories. Everybody had a story. Everybody had damage. And when I'm talking about everybody, from the interstate to the coast, this storm, obviously along the coast, was bad. Fort Myers, Sanibel, Cape Coral area, but my goodness, the damage is so. I mean, you're talking an eye wall that's about 50, 60 miles, across, that just impacted so many people. So that's my dog snoring. It's Hunter. I'm gonna let him down and show Louie that we're gonna get right into the weather. Promise. We always say hey to everybody. It is a Frenchie. We got some new people here. What you got? Look at Louie. We've had this coffee cup 3 years now. Louie was the original Frenchie. That little guy became famous and even had a beer named after him. You can see it on my picture back here. Hurricane Hunter. It was such a cool thing that even the hurricane hunters were drinking Hurricane Hunter beer in Lakeland. Is that not the coolest thing ever? That was a couple years ago. And then COVID came around. We lost... aluminum was in short supply, so our beer kind of fizzled. But ABC had it in 83 stores, and it was pretty cool. What are you looking at over there? This is Louie, by the way. So yeah, so I got to talk to folks for about 4 or 5 hours yesterday until it got dark. You just couldn't. It was like a war zone. I mean, what are you looking at? You looking at your coffee cup? I've never seen anything like it. I mean, there was military base camp set up. I mean, there's helicopters flying around. The president was there. DeSantis was there. It was like, the amount of base camps that I saw set up everywhere you look. Military, linemen, Red Cross, Cajun Navy. I saw. It's just breathtaking. I mean, and driving down there. Every other car, or every 1 out of 3 cars or trucks on the road was disaster relief. And there was convoys of trucks from Texas and Georgia and motorhomes, and they all said Florida Strong on them. I mean, it was, amazing. It was like the Army was coming in to South Florida. So that was very eye-opening. I drove through Arcadia. Arcadia really got hit hard. A lot of the inland affected areas don't get talked enough about. Daytona Beach area, New Smyrna Beach. I mean, their flooding there is just still ongoing. St. Johns River still not expected to peak until this weekend. So let's not forget about them. Just like Michael and other storms. Ida, we talk about it. Laura. These big storms, man, once the TV cameras go away, the people have months. And I was reminded years of recovery, not just months. I mean, when you see every house with damage, I mean, you know how hard it is to get people, supply chain now to get like pool enclosures, aluminum. I can't even imagine the recovery time it's going to take for some folks to get their stuff back to normal. But, it's just the way it goes. It's part of Mother Nature. Terrible. But there was an ABC there, and it was right across the street. I don't think anything was open around there. They didn't have any power, but we're thinking the all the employees at ABC that are right in the middle of it. There was Obviously, a lot of folks affected. So here's what we got. Let's talk about the tropics. I'm going to put Louis down. Ocala National Forest was still flooded, James says. Heard an amazing story with the bridge that opened up. Local dump truck company, I can't remember the name, but took it upon himself to fix the bridge, and they got the bridge open. And I guess the Sanibel Bridge is expected to open in October. So hopefully, a couple weeks. So Hinch says FEMA's in Daytona. That's great news. But yeah, I have friends that were flooded. I was don't get over to Facebook as much as I used to, and Julie was on Facebook, and we saw some friends' houses that were 3 foot underwater. You know, I had friends in Arcadia that totally lost everything. So it's, you know, a lot of focus on the coast, 100%, but definitely got to think about everybody inland. We're going to get right into it. Talking about the tropics. By the way, thanks to all the new supporters, subscribers. We appreciate it. You know, we're kind of crowdfunding here at Mike's Twitter page, and we have a lot of fans that kick in a few bucks a month. It adds up. So thank you very much. You know, we do send out swag to subscribers. It takes a little time, especially during a hurricane. So be patient. You're not getting any information. You know, it's just your way. People ask over the years how to support the page. So have patience. We obviously during a storm we get a lot of new supporters, and we do have swag. We send out shirts and koozies and stickers, and Christmas cards are going to go out to current subscribers. So you know, patience. But thank you so much. It enables what we do here for sure and helps tremendously. But here is the tropics, and I got to turn my phone off as normal. It's just a dinging fool here. This is what we got. So we had breaking news, Tropical Depression 12. Here it is. I love how you get breaking news on a system and panic sets in. Like, oh God, we got a new system in the Atlantic. Well, the good news is it's gonna be gone today. It's lived a short life. Tropical Depression 12 is nothing. It's not going anywhere. It's nothing. It's that. So when you hear TD12, that's all you got to worry about. Nothing actually. We do have this though. Go back here. This is our red area, 90%, I think still. So I get the panic on this little guy because it's almost in the exact same spot Ian was, right? A little bit farther south. By the way, listen, I did a Facebook Live yesterday. I might go back down there today. I didn't get to go to Rotunda. I want to go see the areas that aren't being shown in the news. So if everybody liked that video at least and brought some sort of, you know, calm. A lot of folks typed in. They felt, you know, glad that I at least did it so they could see their homes. And so I might do another one today. Might head down there today. So if you want, you know, if you appreciated it, then for sure I might do it again today. Maybe more of the Port Charlotte side, Inglewood, Rotunda area. But anyway, so I get everybody's a little worried about this one. So the difference being here is when we had this one with Ian, we had a strong cold front that was coming down, and you know, it got pulled up basically into this cold front. Right now we don't have a cold front. Right now we have a very strong high pressure system that is built in, and pretty much there's no escape northward. It's like a completely different weather system right now. So we have a really strong high pressure in place, and it's only allowing this to go west. Totally different than Ian was. So confidence is extremely high that this thing is going to go west. Now, we obviously have a lot of people watching in Central America, Nicaragua, and Honduras. We had somebody chime in from Belize. So yeah, the northern side of the system will bring a lot of rain for sure. It could be developed by then. So there you go. Timing's going to be this weekend. There is a brief window here. Once it gets to about right here, it can develop. So we could have another named storm. The next named storm on the list is Julia. Julia. Any Julies out there? Julia. Now coming to the... Well, can't say that. All right, so what happens after that? Well, here we go. There's going to be a lot of rain. Could be a hurricane. Some of the models are in the 980 range. Most of them shove it off of the Pacific. There are a few that are pointed up into the BOC. So I'm going to show you all those scenarios. Nothing to get worried about. There's no hyping. There's no solid, oh my goodness, this could happen feeling right now. But it's at that point where you at least mention it. I only mention it on the lives. I haven't even posted the BOC scenario online because it creates panic. And I don't want to do that right now. So what's up, Dave Waters? Good morning. Darcel Wright, good morning. Karen Mitchell, donations are big. I heard a lot of local churches are accepting donations. So I do have a number. Oh God, my back still hurts from Talladega. I'm gonna make sure I put his business card in my back pocket here. What did I do with it? I put it somewhere. I do have a name somebody gave me down there that we could help pass along if we had to on that. So I'll it's just so hard to know where to send stuff. Shelly's good about that. So Julia says, my husband says you're one to watch. Well, that's a good husband. It's actually Julia. So maybe I'll go back down there again. I'm sporting my U-Haul, by the way. Dale Keinberg said Convoy Hope is church. That's great. I know one thing. I don't know, Shelly, you just sent me that TikTok. Maybe you can link that TikTok, Shelly. But when that bridge opened up yesterday, man, it was like a convoy going across it. And what is it? Was it Pine Island? Was that the name of the island, that bridge that opened up? Big Storm Brewery, yes. I heard Big Storm and LJ and Justin Papa, they might be accepting donations to send south. But it's hard on me because I get so many people offering, and you don't know everything all the time. All right, so let's talk about Invis 91. First, look at that. Look what I bought Mom and Dad. They don't watch, so it's still a surprise. Anybody been to Merritt Peak and Company? No. That's on my way to Talladega. It's a yearly tradition. We stop there and buy something pecan. So I got Mom and Dad a pecan pie, man. I'm pretty stoked about that. All right, so let's look at all the models here, and then we'll look at the BOC, because we got a lot of people watching in Central America. Here's that high-pressure pattern I wanted to show first. Very strong high-pressure system. Very strong high-pressure system. So, like I said, it's a completely different weather pattern. Everything's horizontal this time around. Last time we had a gap. High pressure was here, and we had a high pressure here. We basically had an opening where this thing kind of did that. Well, obviously it went into the Carolinas, but that was the general steering pattern. Totally different setup. So as of now, it's going to go west, and that's pretty confident. Now, as far as strength goes, this is interesting. We could see a hurricane. That's always worrisome. A lot of flooding rains possible. You always get feet of rain potentially with any system down there that's developing. So here's the euro. This is Saturday, 9.95. Just going to show you the trend of some little wiggles south, 9.90. So definitely could be named. This would be Sunday. You can see, quite a developing system there. So could be Julia. The euro was there. The icon very solid, 986, 83. So it could be, This is an area where it can intensify pretty quick. The Caribbean's still really warm, so again, we're worried about a hurricane down there. So there's the icon. This is the weekend. So everything's this weekend. Canadian model this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 985. So, and this is a little stronger, 973. So confidence is pretty strong. The H-Wharf, 963, 950. Again, the H-Wharf is a really good intensity model. So, yeah, we really have to worry. Anybody down there in Nicaragua, Central America, definitely needs to pay attention to this close, because it could be a quickie little system that pops in. Some of the intensity models are even showing that. So we could have some rapid intensification here on approach to landfall this weekend. All right, so there's that. Let's talk about where it's going to go. And even the UK showing a path. So the confidence is extremely high. So what happens after, right? Let's see. So let's look at history. I had these up. I did it on my little YouTube video this morning. Hey, Lance. Hey, it was good meeting you, man. Lance Roberts. How about that? Yeah. I remember we did chit-chat a long time. Beer in Oldsmar. That sounds good. I'll read comments. Pecan pie. Is it pecan or pecan? There you go, Shelly. Appreciate that, Justin. Papa did confirm Big Storm is accepting donations. So that's great. Okay, cool. That's good. All right, so this is history. There's nothing brewing. Just showing you October. We could have stuff in the BOC, Bay of Campeche. October 11th to 20th, last 150 some years. A little bit of crossover possibly. So that just casually mentioning. Don't 100% stop watching Invest 91 after it makes landfall. The latest ensembles, there's like 1 out of 50, but it's consistent enough to talk about. Some of the poll here, the euro, I got an itchy nose today, by the way. If you watch my YouTube video, I think I picked my nose a few times. It's per can. Yeah, listen, if anybody knows any churches or anybody taking donations, please share in our chat, please. That's the only thing I haven't done, and I don't think it's just too much to try to compile. Then people's feelings get hurt if I don't share some, and then it turns political. So I just leave it to you guys to share information. That's fine. Mike Soul, Shelly told me some of your all stories down there, so hate to hear it, buddy. I was talking to somebody yesterday. They were saying Bonita Springs and Naples had terrible surge. I saw a pile of boats in Cape Coral just piled up like toys by the bridge. I mean, unbelievable. Season's not over, Bill. we can hope it's over. I'm gonna find that post that I did after Fiona. Right, we had that new global tropics hazards map. And I was so excited. It had nothing. And I'm like, yay. And I always say, I don't really like these models. They're wrong a lot. It was wrong. Hey, Mike. Furman, man. Great company. There's a lot of generator companies out there. But think about it. These guys, showed up and were out there helping. They even helped people didn't have Furmans. So here's the ensembles. Let's show you these just kind of throwing it out there. So here's the euro. These are on Weather Nerds. You can see there's kind of two schools of thinking going on a little bit. Stronger kind of goes west, plows through and gets onto the Pacific side. There are some others that like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, there's a frontal line coming in, and a couple of them are kind of getting pulled up a little bit. This would be middle of next week, long way away. So these are trends you just start watching. If this front's a little bit stronger and we start to see a little bit of juice pop into the BOC, then it could be something to watch. But right now, there's only one model showing it. What's ironic is a lot of these are coming up and they're actually like stopping and just kind of dying down here. So I guess the bottom line is there's nothing yet to show anything to get worried about in the States, at least. So that's good news, right? Well, I always watch for trends and weather patterns. Like I said, next Tuesday there is a front coming down. We can go ahead here and take a look. Let me go day 5. Monday. Well, that's actually kind of weak. It's not even showing up anymore. Let's see. It all comes down to the strength of that front. This is next Thursday. It's slowed down a little bit. Next Wednesday, actually. So there is a front coming down middle week part of next week, and a couple of the models are showing it, maybe pulling up, but nothing yet to even, because I see people post it. Here's the latest Weather Nerds, and what's kind of interesting on this one, it shows you the ones getting into the bay next Wednesday. They're pulling up to that front, but then they kind of stop and kind of go back the other way. So just says one lonely guy. There's always one, right? 1 out of 51. I'll take them chances right now. So that's where we're at with that. Very low chances right now. So Harold says they've seen truck drivers in Seattle coming down. I believe it. Man, I had goosebumps on the Interstate 75 yesterday seeing the support coming down. It's sad that it takes a hurricane to bring people together like this, but it does, man. Every storm brings people together like you've never seen. It brings a unity to an area that it's just hard to put in words. You become, you bond with your community, and it's life changing. It's terrible now, but man, people helping people, and it just brings out the best in people. People put aside their phones and their, internet, and they're out there rolling up their sleeves and helping. So it's a shame it takes a storm, but in the end, there is a little rainbow at the end. Wanda, I never heard about confirmed tornadoes. I don't think it had as many. Charlie was a tighter system. So you had a lot more tight, winds. We'll take a look at tornadoes. I don't know how many were confirmed. We had a lot of warnings. I know that. There was a lot of tornado warnings leading up. I know the southeast coast had a bunch around Miami area. There was a lot, actually. Here's there was 11. And notice where they are. This was on approach. This is 9:27. This is exactly what we were talking about with this flow coming in. So many times when there's a storm on the West Coast, people on the East Coast are like, whoa, where did that come from? And that is these squalls that develop out here, and they get strong. So when our storm was, way down here, we were getting tornadoes. So there was 10 actually, 10 on 9/27. That's quite a bit for confirmed. 9/28. There was this one. It was over there by the Daytona, right by you, Shelley. This one was Brevard County, the Holy Fish Camp. Multiple social media showed a brief tornado crossed Highway 192 east of the Brevard-Osceola County line. There you go. Thank you, Nanette. Appreciate that. Thank you, Sherry. Marie, can I explain what the day can teach you relevance to selfless? I'll have to clarify that a little bit more. Let's see. Good morning, Valerie Bauer. Good morning, Cliff. Buckingham. Where the heck's Buckingham, Christo? Anyway, all right. Fish Camp Tornado. There you go, south of you. What's up, Yohel? Cruise time, buddy. Anybody want to get the heck out of Florida, come join us on our cruise in March. A lot of people on the ground. Tammy Kent was down there. She's on her way home. Furman was there. Lodging Solutions is set up there with their big tents. Carlisle Thompson is all set up to help the cities and counties with FEMA. I know Coastal Claims is set up. I saw that. I know Universal Roofing's down there. Advanced Roofing's down there getting things rolling. Windstorm Products. Luckily, a lot of our fans were prepared. Thanks to them. Decks and Docks obviously is going to be a huge run of docks. Everywhere you look down there, docks are gone. Boats, unfortunately, didn't make it. Tom is cruising Monday. Well, look at you, man. 3-year anniversary, too. How about that, Megan? Smyrna Beach, you getting flooded, Megan? I got friends that live in New Smyrna, and 2 of my closest friends got flooded. So they went to bed or something and never dreamed they'd be waking up to water. So yeah, and again, the inland effects, man. I mean, all the focus is obviously on the coast right now, and like I said, rightfully so. But there's also a lot of people inland that are affected by this system greatly, because it didn't slow down. Florida's flat; it's full of water. It didn't weaken much. We had winds over 90 mile an hour clocked in the East Coast. A lot of businesses are still shut down on the East Coast because of saltwater intrusion. And it just popped in out of nowhere. Think about it. I mean, this thing, all of a sudden we're tracking this little bitty wave that survived the African dust, and all of a sudden it's like it made it, crossed, and bam, September. September is definitely the month. August, September, October, man. We do have cooler weather on the way. Mark Hall, your friend has a gator in his pool. Well, that ain't good. Kate Curl's brutal. Mike Robertson says, yeah, I was listening to Wink News, by the way. Matt Devitt, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I love that guy. He actually follows me too and always has nice things to say. He's a real good dude. He's a chief meteorologist at Wink News, and I guess he's like a local legend down there. But they have an FM station, and I didn't mean I enjoyed it, but I was very in tuned with it because they had continuing coverage on Wink News FM yesterday, and it was really informative. Like, they were on the ground, and I was very impressed with their coverage for the locals down there. Yeah, the winds, 140 at Cape Coral. I've been hearing unofficial reports of like 180, 190. I mean, obviously all that's unofficial. See you, Yoel. Be good, buddy. Mike Goats, what's up? Ann Lewis, you're welcome. South Carolina, Hilton Head. Cape Coral, Lisa, you were in the heart of it. Thank you for that. Man, I've had a lot of amazing comments. I don't even know what to say sometimes, but it means a lot. Trust me. I mean, Lori Brown, thank you. Wayne's and Belize. Listen, so far it looks like there's some models that are turning it up to Belize, yes, but the heart of the system is south of you. Hopefully it wiggles out by then. It might bring some rain, but the landfall looks like it's going to be Nicaragua as far as a possible hurricane. So It'll be a fast mover. Not going to linger around too much. Heavy rain, obviously. Amy Martin in Texas, nothing right now. Lyle, you going to the Bahamas? There's nothing brewing for the Bahamas. Looking good. Enjoy. John, that's a good question. Man, it's always a big question about coastal areas and the price you pay, basically, you know. Hey Alexis, how you doing? We only had minor tree damage here. There were some pretty big branches, actually. Honestly, the damage at my house is almost exactly like it was with Irma. You know, the normal 2-inch twigs. We had a few trees down in the area. I mean, it was typical Category 1 storm to our east. So we kind of deja vu'd the same scenario with Irma. There was power outages all around. It definitely warranted hurricane warning, no doubt. I mean, it was, you know, for at least for Tampa, it was on the northwest side, which is typically, if you were to pick a side, the northwest side would be your side to pick. Hawaii rarely gets storms, Renee, because there's a lot of cold water out there. Oh, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, my truck was on CNN. Yep, Chevy reached out on Twitter. You know, fingers are crossed. I had a lifter issue going into the weekend. It was I took it in July. I knew it was going to be a problem. It slowly started getting worse. You know, any car guy knows that when things are going to break, they don't break right away, but you start getting signs it's going to break, right? And man, when this storm started brewing, guess what? I started getting my check engine stutter, and it would go away. But my service tech, and I started reading it, that there was a lifter issue that year forward. And so on the way down there with Phil, there was a few times it actually stuttered really bad. I'm like, this is not the time to brake on me, man. This is not the time. But ironically, during the whole chase, it never did it once. 1 mile from the interstate, it conked out. There was water damage, yes. But I think there was already an issue going on. So they can't find a new engine. They can't find a rebuild engine. They can find a used engine. I'm just at the point that, you know, I don't want to lose it because it's kind of looks cool. But I got my U-Haul truck now. It's all right. $20 a day. I can handle that. So it's going to hit Central America this weekend. Lauren, Elizabeth, this weekend, Saturday, things start going downhill. We got reverse surge over here again. We got Irma-style surge here in Oldsmar where the water got sucked out of Tampa Bay. People were so fascinated. Trent, I've been a unloyal truck driver my whole life. I had Rams. As soon as that Hemi came out, I had to have a Hemi. I think I bought one of 3 and 5. And then 7, I bought a Tundra. Every 2 years I was getting trucks. So then I had a Tundra. I liked the Tundra. Then I had a Ford for a couple years. And then I went to Chevy. So I've had all 4. Ram. It's a 5.3 motor, Kurt. So Chris, it does not have unlimited mileage. It's $20 a day and it's 69 cents a mile. But I don't go very far around town, so I ain't worried about it. It's cheaper than Enterprise. Enterprise has nothing. Water did come back into Tampa Bay, came in slow. I was on a couple radio shows. There was a lot of hype about a big tsunami coming back to Tampa. That never happens. It's just a slow tide cycle. It comes back in normal. That was during Irma. Everybody was scared of a tsunami coming back in, and it was like, get out of the water! It was nothing. And this time it came back, everybody was saying the same thing. You're gonna drown. There's a tsunami coming. But there was no tsunami. But I will say, $60 a day is what it really costs. Well, it was $3.50 for Monday. I'm taking it back Monday. Whatever. Hey, that's why our great supporters, you know, it all goes to good use. Lost my doing a CNN article. I lost my tonneau cover. It blew off, and when it blew off, it blew off. I mean, it was gone. Like me and Phil looked at each other like, what was that? And we could see it flying away. It was gone, man. It didn't even. Like, oh, okay. Oh man, some of these wins. Oh geez, let me tell you about Surge. I got all kinds of videos, man. One day I'm gonna put them all together. It was just unbelievable. Some of the experiences that we saw driving. I mean, blinding. You know, blinding rains. You couldn't even see. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at the windshield. You can't even see out of that thing. I mean, it was pointless. I mean, it was just like, I mean, one time a truck was pushed backwards.
I think that's.
Then we ended up at that Dollar General. That was the best thing that ever happened. We kind of tucked away in the wind for a while. But the surge, oh my God, I saw a surge firsthand. If you didn't hear me, nobody saw my hat, Kelly. No, there's an America mullet hat somewhere in Rotunda. Oh, Amanda, you lost your bed cover too? I never got to fly my drone, Sandra, because we never got in the eye. The eye scraped us in Rotunda, and it just sat there for hours. Rain-X, 100% Patrick. I don't know what I was thinking. I forgot all about it. Shelly, put that down on the list. Eastern North Carolina by the Outer Banks. Nothing coming, Debbie. Everything's quiet right now. Just cool weather. I was going to talk about which forward did I like the best, Alex Johnson. I don't know. They've all had positive things, you know. I think, I don't know. I had big mufflers on the Ram. It was loud. Like really loud. Ruth, I did check for engines, but yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. Yeah. Yeah, so the surge, Karen Para, Leslie, that was a little hairy too. That was probably not the smartest thing I've ever done, was driving on that dark road. But we wanted to get out of there. It was, yeah, it was probably not the smartest thing we've ever done. I knew the road was there, though. Phil had a very good spotlight. We knew that it was shallow. That's what got me about the motor. It never was very deep. I mean, and I got a really lifted truck, so you know, it wasn't too bad, but I guess it was pretty scary. My dad told me. He was watching. So yeah, you know, anyway, a lot of trees in the road. Yeah. Wanda. I think marketing wise, honestly, Leslie, you're looking for alligator eyes. We need brighter lights, though. I needed to. The problem was with my spotlights or my floodlights is the rain. It reflects too much. But yeah, I think the Storm Chaser. I mean, you know, I got 3 or 4 American teach-ins lined up in November. I mean, wouldn't it be kind of cool to have the truck there and kids can say, yeah, I saw that truck on the news, or I saw that truck in a hurricane, and that truck's been in 7 hurricanes. Well, technically it's been in 5 hurricanes. It's been in 7 named storms. So yeah, it's kind of a weather thing, you know. So hopefully Chevy sees the marketing value in that. I would think, you know. I don't know. I did post online. Maybe Ford, they'll fight over it. Needs to be wrapped, though. We need to have a cool wrap on it. But yeah, it was in the eye of Ida, Ian, Zeta, and Ada. And Fred was a tropical storm. Isaias was a tropical storm. Elsa was a tropical storm. Can't remember the fifth one. There was 5 hurricanes. Yeah, Laura, I don't want to hit the insurance company up. I'm not going to do that. We got a good rate. I'm afraid they're going to raise my rates tremendously. We have a 16-year-old daughter. So, yeah, Shelly always calls me. Every storm chase, she calls me and tries to tell me what am I doing. I'll never forget when we were in Louisiana and people in our chat were like, tell Mike, don't go down that road. Don't go down that road. Don't go down that road. And Shelly's like, he just went down that road. And I went down that road. I turned a corner and there was surge. Jeffrey, I do have a light bar on the roof, but it's not backwards though. Justin, I do read chat, buddy. I you know. Oh, I had to take the video off, Justin. It was not the right time, honestly, to post it. I mean, I get people are suffering, and I don't need to be posting that kind of stuff, honestly. So I took it down. I mean, some people brought up good points. Their kids are watching. They don't want them running out there and acting like me. So, but, you know, that's what I do. So, let's see. I keep reading. Puppy snuff. Yeah, puppies over there sniffing. Okay, anything else? So, tropics quiet. We got a cold front coming. Let's show you that real quick. Just kind of give you a deal of what's coming up. This is temperatures, right? So, this is kind of neat. The blues are in the 50s. So, tomorrow, we're still going to have 50s reaching middle Florida again. What the heck's up with that? This has been the where the heck did this come from cold front, right? This is the cold front that they said wasn't going to happen, making Ian turn to the Gulf. But this cold front came in and it has not left. I mean, it is amazing, this cold front. And it's so typical of Florida hurricanes, man. We get these late season hurricanes. They cold front comes down and, you know, I mean, you got to think about it too. I mean, so you got the counterclockwise flow of a hurricane. I mean, I'm sure it has a little bit to do with bringing in some of the weather from the up north. You know, high pressures spin this way. So many hurricanes in Florida, it's like the day after, it is the most bluest, coolest, driest air. It's the weirdest feeling. And I talked to the locals yesterday about this. Remember, if you follow me a lot, I mentioned it on the Drew Garabo show too. But there was this intense heat the week leading up to Irma. I'll never forget. It was like, and I could still feel it. And living in Florida my whole life, I could feel it. Like it was a burning heat, not a sunshine heat, just a heat. Well, a few days before Ian, I had that same feeling. Like it was an intense heat, like weird, like stagnant. But what that is, it's that high pressure that's built in over top that's allowing our systems to develop at the same time, creating that perfect environment for a storm to develop, or at least maintaining, you know. So I'm sure somebody out there knows what I'm talking about, but there was a weird heat leading up to this storm that I felt with Irma, that a sense of like something's coming. Weird. This is weird. So Deanna Combs, thank you. Appreciate that. Sarah would say Luke Combs. She loves Luke Combs. She likes Morgan Wallen too. So Beaufort, South Carolina, Linda. Yeah, so when the storm was heading back your guys' way, you know, the only criticism I got, and I totally agree with it, was the storm was still ongoing, and I get so wrapped up in the storm. There was a still hurricane out there, so I did a lot better. There was about a 12-hour window that I didn't really. Once the storm made landfall, we kind of knew where it was at, but I kept thinking of you guys up there too. I'm like, well, it is a hurricane. It was an ugly looking hurricane. Luckily it didn't bring too much damage that way. It was a fast moving, very odd hurricane once it reached the East Coast. But I was thinking of the Beaufort folks because they have the cool chalkboard that we love to share. Richard Reamer said he felt it. Mike Soul says he felt it. So think about that. El Garage said he heard that. Sandra, there you go. Florida hurricanes, later time of the year, cooler cold fronts, I tell you. Thank you, Katie Todd. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm dedicated. Yeah, the only everybody likes dogs snoring. I don't get it. Crystal says stuffy hot. The beast, yeah, there you go. Wiki Watchy hot. It was weird that week before. I did almost get stuck, Harold. Paula, listen, I never say never in the tropics, so there are one or two ensembles showing a lower Gulf turn of Invest 91. Nothing to even post about it yet. There's very low confidence. So I usually only post things once confidence begins to increase. So right now everything, at least in the States, looks okay. Dog snoring loud now. Beaufort. I don't know. Beaufort or Beaufort. I don't know. So yesterday I brought up some point. Let's see if Twitter messaged me since we're on this whole Twitter thing. Let's see. No messages yet. They have been messaging me though. So that's good news. I did see, so I posted this picture. This was at Talladega. Hurricane Red. That was at the Speedway. I'm like, man, that's got her. Look, it's black and red, man. Those are my colors. But let's get the other one running first. So talking to the local, so yesterday I brought up a lot of points about the cone. The cone is under so much criticism right now. And it's only going to get worse. We're going to hear a lot more discussion on the cone and bad. I don't know. It's not going to be good. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing on this storm, and I'm staying out of that. But I don't even know. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's frustrated. That's all. Frustrated. The eye got bigger. So the one thing that I was going to say is that I don't know if there was enough urgency from the press explaining what a Category 4, possibly 5 hurricane will do. I mean, we've seen enough of them, the last few years. We know. Katrina was a Category 3. And it was big, like Ian. And it had surged way east of New Orleans area. Mississippi, 20-foot plus surge. I mean, we knew the surge was going to be bad. Once that eye wall expanded and it was still strengthening, you just knew the surge was going to be bad. You knew it. Now, the eye was such a huge eye that the surge was obviously to the east a lot because that's the rotation of the radar. So I think, there might not have been enough discussion about the eye being so wide it was going to have effects way past center. and you can see this on the Key West. This is Brian McNulty's site. I don't think people realize the inland effects with the rain. The rain maps didn't lie. They were showing 20 inches plus for days ahead of it. And when you get consistent modeling, that that's going to happen. You knew the ground was saturated. So I don't think there was enough urgency letting people know, we are going to see total destruction, power losses across the state, flooding. I just don't think the seriousness of the storm being a 155 mile an hour hurricane was enough out there to let people know this is bad. It wasn't your normal Category 1 storm. Even Charlie had effects, yes, but it was tiny compared to this. So the effects weren't as wide range, and it weakened a little quicker because it was so small, So there's a lot of people were just shocked by this one, and living in Florida a long time, you probably people have had enough cry wolves too, like we've been told this a bazillion times. It's not going to happen. Cheryl Smith, great point. See, anybody that went through Michael knows exactly what we could have experienced. Urgency. Well, I saw the damages from Laura in Lake Charles, 6 months after, and I saw it yesterday, and that's what, I might go back down there just to show the streets. Every street that I looked down yesterday, there was piles of debris, people's furniture, mattresses, beds. Every house, those are people's belongings, and every street that you went down, you saw that already. And these were scenes from Laura 5 months after landfall that I saw. So many people got affected. Like, they had no idea. Trust me. Guaranteed people got affected that just blew it off. I mean, I wish I could stop this frame. Can't really stop it. But the eye was so huge. It just... When I was at Fort Myers yesterday, I Googled... I wanted to go to Rotunda. It was an hour and 40 minutes. It was 70 miles from where I was at. I'm like, 70 miles? But that's the scope of the damage that people... there's a lot of population down there. So, I feel bad for everybody. Trust me. Even people around here had no idea. It could have been you. Yeah, and the storm surge maps are real. A 5-mile shift south went from Tampa Bay worst case scenario to water being sucked out of the bay. So this surge is so hard to predict, and I feel so bad for the forecasters because if that eye wall didn't go through that expansion, the surge would have been farther to the north. It wouldn't have hit Fort Myers and Sanibel like that, because the intense surge is obviously the rain bands that circle the eye. When that eye wall expanded, those became wider farther southeast. So you can't predict an eye wall replacement. They all kind of knew it was coming. That happens with these really strong hurricanes. They end up kind of eating themselves up and getting a new eye wall. But then the new eye wall is bigger. I guess a lot of the media was saying that it was going to weaken on landfall, and it didn't do that, obviously. So, anyway, that's where we're at. You can get a redneck storm chaser shirt, by the way. Be like Mike. And we got to stick with the same truck because that one's on the shirt. Daytona Beach was underwater, yes. That was taken by the Sheriff's Department of Volusia County. Hey, Bobby Blobby. Yeah, Bobby brings up a good point. The survival stories of people. I mean, that's one thing about TikTok. I tell everybody I love TikTok is I'm seeing videos of people that were stranded on roofs, stranded in attics, stranded on their cars, waiting for, just the surge overtook them. Stories of mothers putting babies in Tupperware, containers, making boats. I mean, this is real life stuff. This is stuff that happened during Katrina. 2022, I feel terrible the amount of lives that are lost. I guess my only frustration is that that's a lot of lives lost in 2022. Like, you would hope that it wouldn't happen, but it looks like it's going to be more to come. And terrible. My skeletons, I never even got my skeleton put together. It's such a big box, Alexis, it wouldn't even fit in the camper. So yeah, hopefully that's this weekend's project, is putting together our Talladega skeleton that Bobby, yeah, I know there's people missing their loved ones. I know. I don't know what the final count's going to be. The surge is real. I mean, around 90% of deaths are water related. That's, that water sneaks up. And it goes back to 911 calls. There's nobody out there patrolling that can help you. So you're pretty much on your own for a long time, a lot of hours, in 130, 45, 50 mile an hour wind gusts. I mean, in surge. I mean, and you can't call 911 because the phone lines are down. So that's why evacuations is so important, to keep you safe. I know, like even my folks are kind of mad that they evacuated. I'm like, you mad because you didn't get hit? No, hey Chris, no surge numbers yet. Has to be big though. Yeah, Bobby, I don't know if you heard me say, but I saw a pile of boats there in Cape Coral yesterday. It just looked like toys on top of each other. Anyway, so that is it. We're going to go live tomorrow, and we'll keep a track on Invest 91. Invest 91 is interesting. It looks pretty healthy right now, actually, but it's bouncing around. A lot of South American land. So the ABC Islands are getting hit with some rains. There is rotation. It's going to take this area here to pretty much organize. But it looks like it's going to be organized. It looks like it's going to be named. I'm just going to show something I just remembered. I can't remember now. Oh, this map. So this map got updated today, by the way. I meant to share it. Here's a preliminary list so far of the storms, and they did add Ian already. So here's Ian. But what's interesting with these tracks here, I found it a little interesting. Check this out. So Ian was a little farther north, obviously. Ian was far enough north that it felt the effects of the upper level winds, and this is Ian here. It curved basically like that. But look at the curve of Fiona. It did the same thing. Kind of followed the same exact curve, right? A little bit of curve up. And check out, this was Earl. Earl kind of did the same little thing. And that's kind of freaky if you think about it. All three storms curving around that Atlantic high, a little bit of wiggle to the north. But what's interesting down here, number 2, That was Bonnie. Bonnie was so far low that it actually kind of just kept on trucking, and that's kind of what 91's doing now. So it's really interesting. The little wiggle up, little wiggle up, little wiggle up. I mean, history repeats itself, right? But that's interesting. And then we got these little guys. I don't know what the heck. Then we'll have TD12 out here doing nothing. What the heck? Why would they have this number 9? They got the wrong numbers. They have number 8. Look at this. They have 8 and 9 mixed up. 8 is Hermine. Then they have 9 here. This is wrong. This is this is actually 8. Oh my goodness. That's 9. Little typo there on the Noah site. I don't feel so bad now. Anyway, all right. There you go. So, all right. Well, maybe I'll be down there later. I don't know yet, but we'll see what the weather brings today. Cooler weather on the way. I was going to show this. I kind of forgot. This is the cool weather map. Here's what we got coming. So 50s tomorrow. Here is Saturday. Starting to warm up a little bit, but here's our next front coming down. Big old front coming down over the weekend. Look at this. This is Sunday. So we're going to have 30s or 40s dipping into the northern parts of Georgia, Bama, down in the mountains. So another big cold front. Freezing temps. Big chunk. Cold air. Freezing cold air. Low 40s possibly as far as to the panhandle. This is Sunday morning. So we can see 40s in the panhandle Sunday morning. And then a little warm up. There's our next front coming down latter part of next week. So we're kind of in that frontal pattern now. Look at that. Here's your warm day. This is next Wednesday. Low temperatures. We go to high temperatures. So Wednesday's back hot again. Upper 80s in Florida next Wednesday. So we got a few days of cooler mornings, but back to upper 80s next week, all the way through and then we got 90s again in Texas. Here's next Wednesday. So we got this next front coming down next week. But look at this, man. 90s middle week. And then rain. Here's what we got rain coming. There's really nothing coming. This is through the weekend. So really nothing. Look at that. Almost no rain all the way through the weekend. A little bit of rain backs up Saturday and maybe Sunday for South Florida. So Saturday is amazing. This is pretty much Friday, Saturday. So no rain Friday, Saturday almost for anybody. Frontal line backs up for South Florida. So Sunday could get a little rainy down in South Florida as our front backs up. And then here's our front through the week. Does it even have much moisture with it? Yeah, there it is. Here's our Wednesday, Thursday, Friday front coming down. This is next Thursday, a week from Thursday, next week. There's our next front. And there's some moisture down here. So, if Invest 91 try to pull up and be sneaky, there is a front coming down middle of next week that could bring some moisture up with it. Not even sure if it would reach Texas or not, but it is showing as a possibility. So, all right. Well, we will be live tomorrow. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm going to go take my mom and dad their pecan pie. My mom's tablet took a CRAP. It's her 4th tablet in a year. So, wish me luck on that. Always trying to sync a new tablet is awful with Gmail and Facebook, and all that stuff. Trying to find her passwords. Oh my God. Everybody's password book in the world has got to be like a post-it note with 5,000 scribbles. All right, we'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, have a great Thursday. Bye-bye.